This week's Playwright Tip, motivation. Because if you're like me and most other playwrights, finding motivation can be difficult. This week was a little weird because I was mostly focusing on work stuff, but I still have to keep the play in mind. This week we put out the casting notice for the first time, and we had to consider a lot of things, and I'm working a lot of rewrites, and one of the big things with me right now is pushing myself to motivate myself to do those rewrites before I get a cast and to figure out all the little stuff. Now, I'm one of those players who likes to work in the room, to be in the room with the actors. I was listening to a podcast where they're interviewing Aaron Sorkin, and Aaron Sorkin was saying how he'd take what the actors were doing and build on top of that, he and the other writers on shows like The West Wing. So I know I needed to find motivation from somewhere to get inspired to figure out how to best do my play, which is looming over me literally every night. I gotta take that thing down. One of the things I did, because a friend was in town and he invited me, I decided to go see Once on This Island on Broadway. For the second time, admittedly. Now, if you don't know the show, Once on This Island is a fantastic show. It's all about this girl on an island who falls in love with a rich person from the other side of the island, and she has to go on this journey to get back to him and try to win his love. It's basically pseudo Romeo and Juliet meets The Little Mermaid, done island style. I'm sorry if that was offensive. But it's an amazing show. I've loved this show. I first did this show, I believe it was back in 2001, I want to say, and it's always been close to my heart. I've directed it a few times with kids, and kids always love doing this show, and I love directing the show. But what's cool about this production is that it did stuff that I couldn't even imagine. So one of the things you could do to find motivation is to see what other people are doing, and get inspired by that, and use that to motivate yourself to come up with new ideas on how to do your stuff. And while I was around there, I decided to make a stop at the Drama Bookshop. For those of you not familiar with the Drama Bookshop, and if you follow Lin-Manuel Miranda, you know what the Drama Bookshop is. For those of you not familiar with the Drama Bookshop, it is a theater resource for basically any professional. You can find books there on everything. Tons of plays for resources, tons of books you can resource, tons of autobiographies from theater professionals. It's fantastic. They even have a whole thing where they have resources for finding agents and things like that. It's great. But something that caught my attention were two books on the bookshelf. One is a play called Mitzi's Abortion by Elizabeth Hefferon, and the other one is called Decision Height by Meredith Levy. Now, the reason why these caught me attention is not because they're great plays. They are amazing plays. But they were written by two wonderful women I worked with at grad school. They're brilliant, and they got published, and their books are now on sale at the Drama Bookshop. I suggest checking them out. Mitzi's Abortion is an incredible story. Decision Height is also a great story, and it's great for educational theaters where all you have are girls. And Lord knows there are a lot of educational theaters that have only girls. And this is particularly motivating for me because these are two amazing playwrights who, well, got their work published and have been produced multiple times. And it's really inspiring, and it makes you think, I want to be one of those people. I want some stranger, some maybe acting student, to go into the Drama Bookshop, find my play, read it, enjoy it, and learn something from it. I think maybe that's the goal of all playwrights, and in order to do that, in order to reach that goal, you have to motivate yourself. That being said, that's it for this week. Next week, I am going to be talking about casting notices, how to write them, and how to write character descriptions. So until then, see you interwebs.